Welcome back to another episode of the Business Pleasure Podcast. I'm really proud of us. That's what I'm just gonna start saying that straight up.
Hold on a second. Can I introduce myself?
Please.
So my name is Colette. Hi.
This is the beautiful voice you guys have been hearing, but now you can put a picture to the magnificent Colette.
So you add a little extra on my introduction then.
A little thing, you know. That's a little thing. Yeah. So I'm extremely excited. I'm really proud of us. And for me, the reason why I feel so proud, I'll even throw in accomplished as well. 6 weeks straight of doing the podcast. It's exciting. It's monumental, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Because like what we've been saying from the beginning is just how consistency is one thing we really wanted to drive this year in 2018. Mm-hmm. From our social media accounts to doing our little things to increase traffic, from writing articles to producing a podcast, we've been really, really consistent.
Yeah, we have.
Like, you know? And I remember what you had said is about those small victories. So we could look back and be like, yo, we were sucking before. But now, you know, we're slowly but surely making the ways that we want to do and accomplishing the things that we want to do. And it really starts by us just being consistent, right?
Yeah, and even like some weeks if, you know, I'm sure there's been times, I know for me, there's been times when like I don't feel like doing the podcast, but you kind of push me to do it and like vice versa. And even just getting those little things done, like completing one more episode, I think that's really important, right?
No, 100%, right? And it's like what we talked about previously. It's like when you're able to build your discipline in one area, those skills are really transferable, right?
Yeah, of course.
Then of course this will allow us to post more consistently, allow us to find different events to go to, and also it will allow us to even like help our relationship, right?
Yeah.
Be more consistent with one another, whether it's just becoming more understanding,
better communication,
which is so important. And I think the podcast has been able to like even help us with our communication.
Yeah.
Because like one thing for sure that it forces us to take our time and listen to one another. Because if we don't, it's gonna be like this cacophony of noise.
That's
and then,
an interesting word.
Yeah, babe, look at it. It actually means of like various noises.
Oh,
Yeah.
Never heard of it before.
Yeah,
Cool.
babe, I learn a lot from you, so anything I can teach you a little thing, you know?
Learning something new. No, but it's true. It has really helped us in a lot of ways. Because I know, like, looking back, there's been, like, so many strategy sessions that we had before that we didn't necessarily
See eye to eye.
film.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely were not seeing eye to eye at all. And, like, at the end of it, we never really got anything accomplished from them because we just end up arguing. So.
Exactly. And it's good, too, because we can actually look back and review our strategy sessions, and we're like, oh well, maybe next time maybe we should try and add this in, or like, hey, like let's take this part out, or like let's focus on a certain area that could actually really be beneficial to us and our audience. Like the like 3 of you guys that listen to this anyway.
Hey guys.
Like 1, 2, 3.
It's all good.
Yeah, for sure. But before we get into like the strategy session, like how was your week and everything? Like
my week was good for the most part. I think we got a lot of new stuff. So we went.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, we went to our reg shops and we did a bit of like new inventory. So we got a couple new items. So that was really good. So I think that was kind of the majority of the week. Everything else was pretty much the same, just posting as usual. I got in contact with our web developer again, but I don't know if I haven't heard anything back from him. So I think we may have to figure out something else in regards to that.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, what we're asking from it isn't like so detrimental if it doesn't get done.
No, and he's already done his part. So I think what I will do is look into the videos that he sent me of like the how to do certain things and see if what we're trying to do is in those, and then if not, we can just YouTube it and try and figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, and that's so good, especially like being in business now. We're starting to realize, one, you can depend on people, but you can't expect them to come through every single time, right?
Exactly.
And if we sit back and just wait for this guy, and then he not getting back to us, then we're really holding ourselves back by not figuring out a way to like just get things done.
Exactly, installing ourselves, and we can't really afford to do that. So we kind of just have to take it into our own hands and do it ourselves.
And I think that's one of my favorite things about business for the most part. well, the way we run our business, because I'm not really sure how other people run their businesses, we really take accountability for things that are not working, you know? Instead of constantly blaming someone else and like, hey, why isn't this going on? Like, Jeff, where's Jeff?
Because at the end of the day, there's no Jeff to blame.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's literally just me and you doing everything. So if I can't blame myself, then the only next person is you. And if you can't blame yourself, the only next person is me.
Yeah.
So we kind of just have to be accountable for everything that we do. And we do make mistakes here and there, but we obviously learn from them. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, you'll never go through life or go through any circumstance or situation never making a mistake, but the important thing to do is to like identify those mistakes and take accountability for it and identify your role in it, and then just move forward and try not to do it again.
No, 100%. And I think one thing like we really have to move forward on is like our personal IGs and Facebooks.
Yeah.
So how can we really properly incorporate our own lifestyle within the business and vice versa as well, right?
Which I think is so important because, like you were saying, like if, for example, for like Facebook book market, for example, a lot of times when we're posting stuff, it's our personal accounts that it's being posted under. So like if we have no activity on our personal accounts on Facebook, it looks kind of like suspicious.
Exactly.
Like, would you want to buy from someone who has like no, like we obviously both have friends, but like no like activity, hasn't been posting that
like
often.
months at a time, right?
Yeah, months at a time. Like it just looks kind of weird. And also too, like we also should be the brand ambassadors for our own brand. Like we should be representative of like what our business is. So I think you're a little bit better at that overall because like you already have pretty good Instagram and like Facebook and stuff. My Facebook's like I have it. It's a little bit old and outdated, but it wouldn't be too hard for me to update it again.
And it's also nice because it's never too late to update it, right? Because we have a bunch of pictures and a bunch of content that we do want to disseminate. So it's literally just about clicking it and
But
getting
is
things
that
done.
true though?
What is what true?
It's never too late to update your social media.
Why? What? Like you're never out the game.
I know, but from my perspective, like I don't have a personal Instagram. I have business Instagrams, but I don't have a personal Instagram.
Yeah, it's never too late to start. Perfect example. If you look at Will Smith, he literally started Instagram like 2 months ago, and he's like one of the biggest personalities on there right now. Yes, he has like a legacy brand because he's been around forever.
Will Smith.
Exactly, right? But remember, like there are a lot of artists out there that feels that like, oh, it's too late for me to start Instagram. You know what I mean? But he didn't have that mentality. Think about it, like you don't see Robert De Niro there, but if Robert De Niro was to come on Instagram, I'm sure Instagram would go crazy, right?
Okay, well, there's no call out on Instagram, but I guess we'll make it happen.
Yeah, you'll be the call out on Instagram.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's definitely something that we should incorporate for our next coming strategy sessions. What's like an obtainable goal that you think we could do for the both of us for our Instagram and Facebooks?
I think for the Instagram, I just really want to start putting the pictures that we do, like when we go out for dinner, we're in a nice outfit, when we do like little events, we put those things on, you know what I mean? Because our Instagrams personally, they're for our like mutual friends that we interact with every so often.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we're able to share that content as well. And the people that we do talk to on the Facebook and stuff, when they can see it's like, oh wow, these guys are actually updating their information, they remain relevant with their own communities. That gives them an air of confidence to really want to work with us.
Yeah.
Well, I would anyway. You know?
I agree. Or even just like promoting like our day-to-day a little bit more. Like we are business owners, so like every day we are doing stuff for the business. So not in like a down your throat, like annoying type of way.
Yeah.
But in just like a small, because like I really do want people to know that like, yeah, there's Clarendon Co. and yeah, there's Jonelle and there's Colette, but we're also the only people involved in this. You know what I mean? Like we're also the face behind Clarendon Co. And like I think that's really important too, not just to show like our lives and like our everyday or whatever, but also like when we're working and when we're doing things. Because I think that's a huge part of our life that like we don't really showcase at all, right? So
no, 100%. And that's the thing about like building a business is that our own brand is going to be affected by that. So a part of our brand is working together, is showing the processes that we're doing and everything too, right? So like I like what you're saying. Let's try to figure out a way that we can like incorporate all those things, but organically.
yeah, like you don't want it to be like in a way where it's like, okay, this person's always posting about business.
It's like we get it, man.
Yeah, like
You guys own a clothing company. We get it.
Yeah, like we see, like we understand, like it has to be like in a way that's like not too over the top.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And like, I think we're really good at that. You know what I mean? We'll be really conscious about the information that we do put out there, because I don't ever want to be where it looks like a gimmick. Because I think that's when you lose your audience, and when you lose that authenticity, it's like, well, I don't trust them on this aspect. I'm not gonna trust them about this either, right? So yeah, just like we'll keep it organic and we'll keep it natural. But it's literally just like doing what we did when we were in high school. Like, hey, if we go to an event, put a picture on. You know what I mean?
Just being more like
active. Just being active.
Exactly, and like I think for me, I just need to push myself to be out of my comfort zone a little bit more because I'm not super active on social media, and I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, like I'm out for whatever, like let me take a picture of my like food or like take a picture of like wherever I am, because like I'm more of the type of person where I just like to enjoy the moments for what they are, and I don't really care to like take pictures of everything. I honestly find it annoying, but like obviously that's something that I need to find a balance with for myself.
No, 100%. You definitely will. And I think one of the most important things that we also have to understand, we have to allow the market to dictate that. It's like when we look at the clothing that we're... Okay, to switch topics real quickly, one thing that I personally don't like that I've noticed is how people will try to like degrade one business to put their business on a higher pedestal, which I'm kind of doing right now. You know?
Wow.
So for instance, it's like I've seen people online sell items for about, let's say, $400, but in reality, you could sell it for about $100, you know what I mean? So other companies will like screenshot their posts, their competitors' posts, and be like, well, they're selling for 400. Mine is way better. I could do it for 100. You know what I mean? So it's like you're like kicking someone down to be like, hey, like he's not doing this properly. I'm the better person to choose from, you know? When in reality, we have to allow the market to dictate that, you know?
And you have to let each person like run their business as they see fit. Like say like some like two businesses may have let's say like a brand new off-white t-shirt. Okay, one business may have gotten it directly from the wholesaler at like a significantly reduced price, so they can afford, it suits their business model to sell this item for, let's say, I'll give a random number, $100.
Oh, 100%.
Whereas like this other person may have not purchased it from a wholesaler. They may have purchased it from a retailer where they spent, let's say, $100 on it themselves. So in order for them to make a profit plus the shipping and all that stuff, they need to post it for, say, $200. So you can't necessarily just like put this other person on blast for trying to make money and like run a business. Like I think generally like, unless you're scamming people, which like there are people out there
100%.
that do that, and like that's like
in every industry though.
That's in every industry, and that's a completely different example. Like I do see stuff on Instagram, they'll be like, oh, like take a screenshot and be like, this person's a scam, whatever. Like if you have the evidence to prove that, yes, please go ahead, let everyone know. But if there's just someone else like selling their product, and okay, maybe they're selling it for a little bit more than you don't know what their process is. You don't know how they obtained that item. So don't get at them. Like just leave it alone.
Exactly. And I think the whole thing too is that like context is everything. If you were able to understand where like the guy had to pay X amount of dollars and you only had to pay X, so it's easier for you to have a cheaper rate, right?
Yeah.
But I for me, I don't like it when you're like, it's for me, I see it as oh my gosh, for me it's as if they're being like derogatory, being like, hey, like don't work with this guy here.
Yeah.
He's not good for you guys.
It's like you're kicking someone down to like bring yourself up.
You know what I mean? And it's like in the business world, the market will dictate that.
Yeah.
If his product is good but his pricing sucks, allow the market to dictate that.
People won't buy it.
You know, you can't be the enforcer or the authority to be like, no, this it can't be this way. You know what I mean? The market will dictate that by itself. You know, so that's one thing I think with us that we can constantly learn from. What are some things? What are some behaviors that we can see other businesses do, and either adapt those things or to realize like, hey, like we have to ensure that we don't ever come off this way.
No, 100%. That's very true. And I think just like in general, like being a business owner, like you have to be really aware of what the market is doing and the changes that are coming into play. Like even the other day we were talking about how just the idea of like vintage clothing in general is something that is really popular in like North American, European, like more developed countries. Like in a sense, like having vintage clothing is almost like a luxury.
No,
like,
it is.
It's like you don't see people in like poor or like
developing countries and everything.
developing countries or like worser economic situations that are like, yeah, like I want vintage polo. They're just like, no, why would I want that? That's like what like people who don't have money wear, or like that's what you're like, you know, I don't want someone else's clothing. I want brand new clothing, for example. Like there is kind of like this level of like prestige in a way, so it's like almost like a backwards prestige. It's weird.
Yeah, it's as if like Louis Vuitton was like at the hierarchy for social capital, but now it's about the exclusivity factor, right?
Yeah.
You being able to find a piece from like the 1990s, 1980s that's so rare, that's actually so hard to find.
That they're not even making anymore.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Like this community holds that to like a higher standard than they would other things, right? And I guess like in other cultures, maybe they don't see that same way, right?
No.
Like you're wearing old dirty clothes from a dead guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, 100%. And then also, like, with that being said, and having that, you know, awareness of the market and awareness of, like, different things that are changing, we also have to, like, incorporate into our business plan the simple fact that, like, vintage clothing is not going to be popular forever.
Nothing is popular forever.
You know what I
And
mean?
unfortunately, like, the market goes in cycles, and right now, we were fortunate enough to like step in when it's relevant, right? 3 years ago, if we were doing the same things, I don't think we'd be as successful as we are now.
Yeah.
And who's to say 3 years from now, if we do the exact same stuff that we're doing now, the market might totally flip.
Yeah, like who's to say that it's going to stay the same? And like even like what we were talking about just recently, like, you know, in our like in North America and Canada right now, like there could be a huge flip where it's like, no, like I don't want to wear vintage clothing anymore. I only want the high-end new stuff. And then it's back again where like vintage clothing is seen as kind of like a negative and like weird thing that like nobody wants to really play around with. And then who knows, in like 5-10 years from now it could flip back again. So I think that's something that we need to incorporate into our, I think we've already kind of incorporated into like the way that we do things, in the sense of like our sourcing and distributing is always going to be the same regardless of if it's vintage clothing or new clothing. But I think one thing that we should try to focus on is like, what's the next thing? You know, like what's the next big thing that's coming out? What's the next thing in like Europe, or like I saw today you were talking to some guy from Sweden on Instagram, and he was saying like
Gant. The
yeah,
clothing
like
brand Gant. I've seen it a couple of times at like the department stores, but it was never something that was cool.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe in Europe, it's one of the brands that's really popular over there.
Yeah.
So we have to give our market what they want.
yeah.
If we like certain items, but our market loves other items, we have to constantly do that.
You have to cater to that.
No matter what. And I think that's what we've been saying to ourselves. Eventually, maybe we should just focus on sourcing to what the market wants. You know what I mean? When we realize the market is over vintage clothing and we can incorporate different styles that represent our brand and our market, let's do that. But constantly, I think the major thing about like being in fashion and the sourcing industry is really watching trends and just attaching yourself to them and really just moving with the wave, right?
Yeah, for sure. And also like integrating it into the community and like giving them what they want. You know, like I think we've gotten a lot better at like giving people what they want.
Remember when we first started? We gave them what we wanted.
We gave them what we wanted. When we first started, we were like, yeah, our demographic is like 30 to 35, like middle, like young professionals that want like button-up polos and like you know, that stuff just sat around and collected dust, and nobody wanted that until we started listening to our market. That's when things started to sell a lot faster. And I think a really big way of communicating with the community and just like marketing and interacting with our customers in general is just like mirroring how they interact with us. And I think we're getting a lot better at that. Like when some 16, 17-year-old kid is messaging me on Facebook and is like, hey, how much is this? I'm not going to be like, good morning, sir. Like,
how was your day?
How was your day? I will follow up with you on pricing shortly. I'm going to be like, it's $40. Like, you know what I mean? Just straight to the point. How they're interacting with me, that's how we should be interacting with them.
I remember taking this customer service class through my workplace, the same one I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up, your parents would tell you like, oh, treat people how you want to be treated. And I don't agree with that anymore. I think you should treat people how they want to be treated.
Yeah.
And that's what business is. It's mirroring their behavior.
Yeah.
Working with them, right?
Yeah.
Because for me to go out and be like, oh, well, this is how I want to be treated, it's really arrogant of me. And it's like, I'm not listening. That's one of the major things that has to happen with our business, right? It's even like when we watch the Snapchat stories now. So guys, if you take a look, sorry, not our Snapchat stories, our Instagram stories. If you take a look at our Instagram stories now, I'm becoming this like rapper out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Well, you've always kind of rapped, but not for anyone to really hear.
You're such a hater. Whatever. So I've become like this big time rapper now, because what I've realized is that hip hop culture is something that's really influences the vintage culture and also a lot of cultures as a whole, right? So a lot of the clothing that we sell, it represents hip hop culture. So it's like, how can we incorporate hip hop culture into our actually company, right?
And also use that to generate sales.
Of course. It's the
That's
huge cycle, right?
That's always the end result.
Yeah, it's a huge thing, right? And like what we talked about, nostalgia is something that's huge right now. Why we think vintage is becoming so popular, and also comedy. You see comedy in everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I see everyone is doing their stories where it's just like putting a picture on and that's it. There's no commentary behind it, you
There's
know?
no engagement.
You know what I mean?
No interaction.
So it's nice now because like we'll wrap the descriptions, but in a comedic way.
He'll wrap the descriptions.
But in a comedic way that people can understand and interpret, right?
Yeah.
It's really about speaking the same language, like we said, that our audience actually wants to listen to.
Relatability.
And familiarity. Two of the most important things in any form of marketing.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think your ability to pick up on that was really a good job.
Honestly, babe, it's like what we constantly do. We just watch, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I've realized. It's like, I don't think we're like amazing business people, but I think we're really observant.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, one of the major skills of being good at business is being able to observe and see what's going on and just take what works and just keep doing
go
it.
with it. Yeah. And really like pattern recognition. Like, what are the things that people are doing that are working? What are the things that people are doing that aren't working? You know what I mean? Like, we've kind of noticed that, like, we're trying to really build our Instagram following organically.
Yeah.
Like, because we see, like, people on Instagram that have, like, 11,000, 12,000, 15,000 followers. And you'll be like, wow, that's a lot. And then you go onto one of their pictures and it's like 1 like, 2 likes. You go all the way through. It's like 3 likes, 4 likes. It's like, okay, hold on. So you have 11,000 followers and not even 1%.
Something's going on here.
Yeah, something's not right.
Something a little fishy.
Something is not right. So we like have told ourselves from a really long time that we're not going to buy any followers. We're not going to, do anything to like get any fake followers or anything like that. It's just specifically strategic, organic gaining our followers,
And that's what it is too, right? Because like you put on this facade that you have all these followers, but the sales don't result in all those fake followers.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point?
And it's a waste of money. Like, if you paid for followers, it's a waste of money because you're paying for fake followers that aren't even your customer base, that aren't even going to be buying anything from you in the first place. So.
And you're like, what? And like, let's say you did put up content to all those fake followers. You're not engaging with the actual community.
Yeah.
You're not bringing value to the people that actually do want your product and do actually value your brand.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, people who use Instagram on a regular basis are really savvy. So, like, they're going to pick up on those things over time. Like, if you have this amount of followers and only, like, less than 0.1% of your followers are liking your stuff, like, and you're one of them, like, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't add up, man.
It doesn't make any sense.
It definitely doesn't add up.
It doesn't.
So in terms of this week, what are some things that you really want to focus on? For me, I know that we have our event in Montreal coming up. So some things I just want us to, like, get ahead of is just like, what's the content that we want to create? I think we should just do like little things, maybe like a 3-minute video, putting content together from the event. So like shooting videos while we're packing up, shooting videos while we're actually there, So that, again, we can share that information with our community. And that's something we can also add to our YouTube page as well, right?
No, yeah, for sure.
And also stocking up on brand new items as well. Because last week we got about like 50, 60 new items.
Yeah.
But we sold a bunch on the weekend. The event's in about 2 weeks. So again, continue to go to the rack shops, talking to our other wholesaler in Brampton and everything, and just getting a lot of inventory for the event and everything.
Yeah.
Also figuring out the logistics of it, like when we're gonna leave, the food, our sleeping arrangements, if we're gonna be getting an Airbnb and things like that. If we need to rent or borrow one of someone's car, because ours is like
way too small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to say it like a nicer
And it's
way.
way
to say
too
it.
small. Yeah.
It's okay.
And not super reliable.
Yeah.
Way too small.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for myself for this week, I'm going to be going shopping on Thursday
Okay.
for some new inventory. I want to try and curate specifically for. We have like a variety of different types of events coming up, but our event in Montreal is similar to like a sneaker con sort of vibe.
Yeah.
So,
like the hype beast.
Yeah, so
That
I
type
want
of culture right now, right?
exactly. So I want to try and pick specifically for that, like a lot of Adidas, a lot of like sportswear, sports
Like
apparel,
Kappa, all that stuff.
the
you know what I mean?
shorts, the pants, those
Yeah,
types
yeah.
of things. And then just overall, just the logistics for the event. Everything's pretty much set already. Just the car. We just need to figure that out.
Okay, perfect.
But that'll all be done before the end of this week. And then again, like you were saying, what we're going to be taking like quick shoots of. I know last strategy session we talked about having like an actual shoot prior to the event. How are you thinking of that? Do you think we're going to have time to do that before the event?
Yeah, we have a long weekend coming up.
Yeah.
So I think if we're actually like really efficient, we can set something up for the Sunday. We'll
Okay.
call in a couple favors or whatever. It doesn't have to be nothing like extravagant. We'll just,
Like literally an hour.
yeah, like we'll already have all the styles in our head.
Yeah.
Or like just like create like a quick little styling board or whatever, then just put outfits together quickly and everything.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, like the audience that we have, they don't care about $100,000 photo shoot and everything. Like they want to see the product and present it in a way that's familiar to them.
Exactly.
So let's do that, right? So let's just do that.
Exactly. Okay. So that looks good. Do you have anything specifically that you want to add in for your week?
For the most part, no. I took all the photos on the weekend, so those are all done. So literally it's just about editing the photos, and of course putting them on the website and everything. So that's really about it, to be honest with you. Okay. It's again like our weeks are generally the same.
Yeah.
And there's like of course like there's like a bit of change here and there.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, when those changes do happen, let's just make sure we're on the ball and everything.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like, just continue doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much set for this week. This week is more of like a continuation from last week.
Exactly.
We kind of figured out everything that we had to do last week. We just kind of have to do it. Mainly the getting the shoot organized, which we can get done pretty quickly, hopefully. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. How about yourself? Do you have anything?
Yeah, just the shopping and then just making sure that we have everything in line for the events, which we pretty much do already, but just going over it and then organizing the shoot. That's about it.
Okay, perfect. Good job, babe. Nice. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Hopefully you've been able to learn a 1-2 thing. And please like and share so we know that you care. Until next time.
He's always rhyming or rapping.
I'm sick, babe. I'm sick.
Okay. Okay.
All right, guys, take care.
Take care.